In the pages of history, there's a story that's been passed down through generations. A story of a place called Atlantis. A place filled with mystery and wonder. But what if I told you that the real Atlantis story is more amazing than any fairy tale? Welcome to our journey to uncover the truth about Atlantis you never knew. Once upon a time, in a world far different from ours, there was a land called Atlantis. Plato, a learned philosopher, is where this narrative starts. Over 2,000 years ago, Plato described Atlantis in his writings, and those writings have served as a treasure map for anyone interested in learning more. Nevertheless, Atlantis is a narrative about people as much as a location. It was said that these folks were exceptional, nearly like superhumans. They possessed a third eye and were towering and powerful. Think about it. Our journey will take us through ancient legends, tales of cosmic origins, and even stories about beings from other planets. Prepare yourself for a journey through history and tradition as we unravel Atlantis' mysteries. It's a story that might change the way we think about our past. Origins of Atlantis. Since its rediscovery during the Renaissance, Plato's cryptic account of Atlantis, which was then lost to history throughout the Middle Ages, has piqued people's interest once again. Numerous ideas about this continent in the Atlantic Ocean that is underwater have surfaced during the last 500 years. The compatibility of Atlantis with Plato's story and the real identity of the Atlanteans are fascinating issues that are raised by these hypotheses. One intriguing, if obscure, theory comes from Cosmic Origin by Ismael Perez. According to his theory, humanoids from the Pleiades who lived in the fifth dimension created Atlantis. This species developed amazing technology that was harmoniously entwined with spirituality, striking an astonishing balance between the spiritual and material worlds. This was in sharp contrast to the previous civilization of Lemuria or Mu, which only prioritized spirituality while progressively losing contact with the material world. Esoteric teachings and theosophy both describe Atlantis' role as a bridge between the spiritual realm and the physical realm, uniting the two opposites and raising general awareness. According to these myths, there are 7 evolutionary root races that humans have passed through, with Atlantis serving as the 4th and first real human and terrestrial race. According to Helena Blavatsky, the race of the Red Man, the 4th root race, first appeared roughly 8 million years ago. Plato's Atlantis. We have been so fascinated by the stories of Atlantis for a reason. Our present race and civilization have its roots in Atlantis. But where did the legend of this enigmatic, submerged island originate? Around 360 BC, the Greek philosopher Plato made one of the first and most well-known references to Atlantis. In the dialogues Critias and Timaeus, 2 of Plato's works, he described in great detail a nation on a verdant continent he dubbed Atlantis. He defines it as a large island that existed in the Atlantic Ocean beyond the Pillars of Hercules, which are widely taken to relate to the Strait of Gibraltar, until it sank some 10,000 years ago. Most likely, Solon, an Athenian legislator and philosopher who learned about the enormous civilization that had flourished 9,000 years ago while visiting Egypt in around 600 BC, was the source of Plato's information about Atlantis. Plato was interested in the idea of Atlantis, and it is said that in order to understand more, he sought advice from Pythagorean pupils and others who were knowledgeable about the mythology, history, and geology of the time. Undoubtedly, part of Plato's information came from initiates who belonged to covert brotherhoods that protected the records of antiquity. As you are aware, in the past, these mystery schools concealed information from the uninitiated in order to protect it from threat. Throughout most of his life, Plato avoided writing about Atlantis. It wasn't until he was almost dead that he shared his knowledge of the submerged continent in an effort to keep the history of the vanished civilization alive. The Atlanteans. Philosophers like Rudolf Steiner regarded the Atlanteans, the mysterious fourth root race, as celestial beings who took on human form. Throughout the Neo-Atlantic Age, their civilization, which was separated into many eras, gradually grew beyond their island home. Natural catastrophes, the most noteworthy of which was the eventual submersion of Atlantis, approximately 9600 BC, occurred throughout each era. According to theosophical teachings, the Atlanteans were characterized as having gigantic bodies. They were taller than contemporary humans while being shorter than Lemurians, giving birth to the stories of the Cyclops and Titans in several ancient traditions. The Atlanteans had the strongest and most beautiful bodies at the height of their physical development. The spiritual third eye that these holy people had was a feature that had been established by the previous Lemurian race, but had progressively disappeared as materialism and corruption spread. The well-known psychic and healer Edgar Cayce provided insight into Atlantean life. He proposed 5 unique places where people concurrently evolved into diverse races. These races were the sons of God referenced in the Bible, according to Cayce, and hybrids were created by their unfortunate couplings with the remains of early efforts at material projection. The Atlantean Enigma. The final stages of Atlantis witnessed Egypt's remarkable civilization, marked by the construction of the pyramids and the enigmatic Sphinx. Another interesting story involving the Galactic Federation and alien species competing for dominion of Earth does exist, however. This story offers a distinctive viewpoint and is told by Matthias de Stefano, an indigo youngster with strong recollections of a prior existence in the Atlantean colony of Camp, current-day Egypt. According to Matthias, the Azir, a race of enormous extraterrestrial beings, also known as the Anunnaki, founded Atlantis about 16,000 BC. To produce the best life form for the Earth, these entities landed in the Middle East and conducted DNA experimentation with its population. The Atlanteans, the Azir's progeny with humans, were selected because of their quest for truth, which was essential for the Azir's survival on Earth and the preservation of their knowledge. The Azir split into 2 groups. The benign Azir mentored and taught the humans, while the other group, the Arcturians, enslaved them. Some of their offspring were taken away so they could evolve on their own, free from direct alien meddling. The basis of the 12 great Atlantean families was built around the selection of 12 children from these offspring, each of whom represented a star. Khefu, Cape Green Acres, the Canary Islands, and Unique in the Azores were among the first populated islands. The center city, Hafiz, resembled Plato's depiction in that it was round. The Arcturian DNA, which preserved their lineage's purity, gave the Atlanteans, with over 300,000 people living there at their height, their distinctive blue blood. The Atlanteans were more concerned with the external material world than the inward-looking Lemurians. They developed tools for the transfer of energy and information throughout the world by using sound and vibration to alter their surroundings. They had exceptional skills, such as healing, regeneration, and interdimensional communication, made possible by their superior technology and understanding of cosmic energy. The Atlantean mastery of life energy. Atlantis, which is often referred to as the birthplace of esoteric knowledge, had a strong tradition of life force mastery, which gave its inhabitants the ability to do amazing feats. In accordance with the values of Lemuria, the early Atlanteans honored the divine feminine, promoting liberty, peace, and a sense of spiritual community. The Atlanteans were described by Edgar Cayce as intuitive thinkers who had access to information about both the past and the future. They succeeded by encouraging their kids' brains and honoring the aspirations and observations. When spiritual connections were most open as children, psychic talents were developed. some Atlanteans devoted their lives to using this knowledge, maintaining their psychic inheritance into adulthood. Their psychic powers were further retained by their intimate proximity to nature. The Atlanteans, according to Rudolf Steiner, were the first people to harness the prana or mana life force as a source of technical power. The Atlanteans were able to do apparently amazing deeds because of this life essence, known as vril in the mystical tradition. They gained control over both the physical world and the spiritual realms as they materialized via organic processes like germination and growth. With the use of vril, they were able to manipulate matter, turn gravity on its head, control time, and produce an endless amount of energy without harming the environment. They were able to travel by air, water, and beneath the sea thanks to their technology, which was separate from ours but much better in many ways. They used laser-like advantages to carry voice over long distances. That is all for this video. We'll be back soon with another informative video. Don't forget to like and share this video. To keep exploring ancient history together, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Until next time,